Hello, my dear friends. There is a quiet conversation happening across the world right now, not in governments, not in news headlines, but among ordinary people. People who say they feel something changing, something subtle but powerful. Some describe it as a shift in energy. Others say they feel more emotional, more aware, or more sensitive to the world around them. And strangely, these experiences seem to be happening to people in completely different countries, who have never met each other. So the question naturally arises, is something happening on Earth that we are only beginning to understand? In spiritual communities, one idea has been discussed for many years. The idea that humanity periodically passes through cycles of cosmic energy, moments when the sun, the Earth, and the wider universe interact in ways that influence life on this planet. Today, we're going to explore one of the most talked about ideas connected to this possibility, the concept often called the solar energy shift, and why so many people believe that the coming years may represent a powerful turning point in human awareness. The sun, more than just a star. For most of modern history, the sun has been seen primarily as a physical object, a massive sphere of plasma that provides heat and light to the Earth. And scientifically, that is absolutely true. Without the sun, life on Earth simply would not exist. But in many ancient cultures, the sun was understood in a deeper way. Civilizations across the world, from Egypt to the Americas, believed that the sun was connected not only to physical life, but also to consciousness and spiritual cycles. They believed that the sun went through energetic phases, and that during certain periods, humanity experienced moments of transformation. Interestingly, modern science has discovered that the sun is far from stable. Solar activity constantly rises and falls in cycles. These cycles can influence Earth's magnetic field, satellite systems, radio communications, and even the upper atmosphere of our planet. So the sun is not just a distant object in space. It is a dynamic force that constantly interacts with Earth. And some researchers believe that these interactions may affect far more than we currently understand. Why people are talking about solar activity again? In recent years, solar activity has increased significantly. Scientists track this through sunspots, solar flares, and changes in the sun's magnetic behavior. These patterns are part of what is known as the solar cycle, which typically lasts around 11 years. During the peak of this cycle, the sun becomes much more active. Solar flares and energetic events become more frequent. And while most of these events pass harmlessly through space, they remind us of something important. Our planet exists within a larger cosmic environment, and the forces within that environment are constantly changing. For spiritual thinkers, this raises a fascinating possibility. What if these cosmic cycles are connected not only to physical phenomena, but also to changes in human awareness? The idea of a solar flash. Within spiritual communities, a concept sometimes discussed is the idea of a solar flash. Now, it's important to clarify something immediately. When people use this phrase, they are rarely talking about a destructive event. Instead, they are usually describing a symbolic idea. The idea that at certain moments in history, humanity experiences a sudden increase in awareness. A moment when old systems begin to change, and when individuals begin to see the world in a completely different way. In many traditions, this moment has been described as awakening, not an external catastrophe, but an internal shift, a realization that humanity is capable of evolving beyond fear, division, and limitation. Why so many people feel something changing? Over the last decade, more and more people have reported feeling unusual shifts in their emotional and mental state. Some describe increased intuition. Others say they feel more aware of their environment, more connected to nature, or more reflective about their life purpose. Of course, these experiences can have many explanations. Life itself constantly changes. Society evolves. Technology reshapes the way we live. But when people from completely different cultures begin describing similar inner experiences, it naturally raises curiosity. Could humanity be entering a period where more individuals are beginning to question old assumptions? Where people are becoming more interested in meaning, purpose, and personal growth? If so, the idea of an awakening cycle becomes an interesting lens through which to view our time. Messages from spiritual traditions. Across many spiritual teachings, there is a recurring idea that humanity periodically passes through phases of transformation. These phases are sometimes described as shifts in consciousness, moments when the collective mindset of humanity evolves. In modern spiritual communities, some people interpret these shifts through symbolic messages attributed to sources like the Pleiadians, Arcturians, or other cosmic archetypes. Whether one views these messages literally or symbolically, the underlying theme is consistent. Humanity is capable of growing into a more aware, compassionate, and cooperative civilization, and that this process begins with individual awareness. Signs of a global awakening. Many observers believe we may already be seeing signs of this transformation. Across the world, people are asking deeper questions. Questions about the nature of consciousness, the purpose of human life, the future direction of civilization, and how humanity can create a more balanced relationship with the planet. These questions are appearing not only in spiritual communities, but also in science, psychology, and philosophy. More people are becoming curious about meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection. And in many ways, this growing curiosity may be one of the clearest signs of change. Because transformation rarely begins with external events. It begins with awareness, the role of personal awakening. If humanity truly is entering a new phase of awareness, the most important part of that transformation will not happen in the sky. It will happen inside individuals. Awakening is not something that arrives suddenly like a storm. It is a gradual process. A process where people begin to see the world with new eyes, where compassion replaces fear, where curiosity replaces certainty, where individuals realize that they have far more power to shape their lives than they once believed. And when enough people begin this journey, the collective direction of humanity begins to shift as well. Why the future may be brighter than many expect. It is easy to look at the world and focus only on its challenges. Every generation faces uncertainty. Every era experiences moments of conflict and change. But history also shows that humanity is capable of extraordinary progress. Over time, societies become more connected. Knowledge expands, and new ideas emerge that transform the way people live. If the current moment truly represents the beginning of a new phase of awareness, then the coming decades may hold incredible possibilities. Possibilities where humanity learns to cooperate on a global scale, where science and spirituality begin to complement each other rather than compete, and where individuals recognize their ability to contribute to a better future. The true meaning of the solar energy shift. So when people talk about a solar flash or a cosmic shift, the real message may not be about fear or catastrophe. It may be about perspective, a reminder that humanity is part of a vast universe, a universe that is constantly evolving, and that we, as conscious beings, are part of that evolution. The sun may influence our planet in ways we are still discovering, but the most powerful transformation will always come from the choices individuals make. Choices to grow, choices to learn, choices to build a future guided by awareness rather than fear. A question for you. Many people watching this video may already feel that something in the world is changing. Perhaps not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle sense that humanity is beginning to question old patterns and explore new possibilities. So here is a question worth asking. Have you personally felt that something in the world is shifting lately? Have you noticed people becoming more curious, more reflective, or more open to new ideas? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective may help others realize they are not alone in what they are experiencing. Final thoughts. Whether one views the idea of a solar energy shift literally, symbolically, or somewhere in between, the message behind it remains powerful. Humanity is capable of change. Each generation has the opportunity to move beyond the limitations of the past. And every individual has the ability to contribute to that transformation. The future is not something that simply happens to us. It is something we collectively create. And perhaps the real awakening is not a sudden cosmic event, but the quiet realization that humanity's greatest potential has always existed within us.